Another Zelda 1 Randomizer random percent tournament race. We got Cdinprov and Xarnax42 getting ready to start there, readying up in the IRC, and we'll be starting this race in just a minute. I'm John Taman. Joining me on commentary is Fury SK. Good afternoon, Fury.
Hey, how's it going?
Going well. Excited for this race. Really fond of both of these people. They're wonderful people, and pretty good at Zelda. So it should be a good one. For those who don't know, random percent means most of the flags are set to 50-50. So the runners kind of have to figure out what the rules of the are, so to speak, are as they go, and we try to have to figure it out along with them. So looks like they're just about ready to start.
Yeah, this is certainly a race of knowledge acquisition as opposed to just a race to kind of get to goal completion, because you don't really know what obstacles are in your way until you kind of diagnose what you have with the seed.
Absolutely.
First order of business should be seeing where exactly they start off on this race. Kind of dictates a lot of where you want to go first.
Hey, here they go. So CD found a level right off. We got hidden dungeon numbers. They started with 6 Triforce pieces. They are missing level 6 and either first quest or shapes level 4 or second quest level 5. Xarnax finds the power bracelet under the Armos right off.
What's also pretty interesting here is the magical sword start, which should boost combat even if it's a rough HP roll for this seed.
Oh yeah. Do they start with anything else? I was just looking at the Triforce pieces. So.
I believe the other one
bombs.
both have 8 bombs, so
yeah.
That would be likely.
Yeah. So since with 8 bombs and magical sword, CD's going to go ahead and dig this dungeon. She finds a heart in the basement. That may mean Heart Shuffle is on. There is, even if Heart Shuffle is off, the Coast Heart can still be shuffled into the item pool. So that doesn't 100% mean it, but you have to, when you see a heart in the basement, you have to be concerned that you might see items on the floor somewhere.
Yep, a couple other tidbits I see already is we have candles in the bonus shops, which isn't guaranteed. That makes it a little bit easier to acquire something to burn the bushes with.
Yeah, and the First Quest Level 5 screen was the entrance to First Quest Level 5 screen, which means the overworld quest is either First Quest or mixed. We won't know for sure until we see a little bit more.
I kind of agree with chat that this is giving me the appearance on CD's side before she bailed on it that it might have been First Quest 5, given that the 2-room base is about lined up with where you would start on that.
So Xarnax taking a death in this gold palette level he found up in the waterfall.
Yeah, I'm starting to think maybe palettes could be pretty close here. I know his feed is a little bit darker, but I think that they're both kind of lighter colored dungeons in general. So if he's in 4, I believe that's kind of a yellowish palette in vanilla, and so is level 5, or am I?
Gold is First Quest 4, First Quest 6, Second Quest 6, and Second Quest 5. Which might be, so if it's First Quest 4 or Second Quest 5, it's the Triforce they need, but I don't think we saw enough to confirm that.
If we went with pallets, which this is very blue.
Well, we got first quest level 2 on Xarnax's side, and we got a Triforce in the Triforce room, which is useful information if it means that the heart drop is probably in the boss room. And if heart shovel's on, then the item drop is there. So it's good to see. So Xarnax leaving because they started with that Triforce piece, so he doesn't know it. That since that was first quest level 2, that means levels 1 through 6 are first quest. So they are definitely looking for first quest 4 and
It's
first
definitely
quest 6. So
it's definitely a bit of runner's preference as to whether or not you would dig level 2 despite having the Triforce piece.
right.
It's about having a little bit more knowledge as to whether or not items are vanilla, which he doesn't know that there's a heart container in level 5 staircase yet, just CD does.
Yeah. Yeah, and at minimum, that means that items are shuffled, which is another thing that's 50-50. In some of these races, the items are exactly the same levels they are in vanilla, but there's no heart container in a basement in vanilla, so we don't have that going on.
And it looks like overworld secrets and prices and that sort of stuff is also randomized for this flag set instead of being vanilla in this 50-50 roll.
So Xarnax in another gold dungeon. If they are unshuffled pallets, then the gold dungeons are the ones they need.
Yeah, this gives me 6 vibes right off the bat. I'm not sure if I'm correct on that, but
yeah, I'd say the bottom row of 6 is 3 rooms, so that's could very well be. 6 Xarnax doing a little more exploration first. Found sword. He picks up the wood sword, despite starting with the magical sword. So there was actually really no reason to do that, except for swag.
maybe someday it'll downgrade your sword from magical sword to wood sword, but not today. I know the more popular thing to try and get Fred to put in the game is to progress of the swords, but that would also seem a little bit silly. You pick up just a random looking sword you don't know. I guess we get used to it after a while. Who knows? To answer chat, Cdinprov is in level 4. That's the compass in the maze room, which is kind of typical of the maze room.
And since we saw Triforces in Triforces and Triforce rooms, compasses are probably going to be in there. Compass rooms, which is in fact the maze room in vanilla, although it's in a different place. But
yep, looks like Xarnax has found level 1 over there, where one of the shops is near the raft vanilla location for 4.
So CD is where she needs to be to get a Triforce, but level 1 has at least 2 items, 3 could be 3 with Heart Shuffle, and so it's small, so it's a good early dig.
Is Compass normally in the maze room in level 4 to begin with?
Yes. It's
alright, so this is kind of confirming what we were already theorizing then, that some of these drops are going to be in their rooms, thus we should be looking for boss rooms for floor drop parts to be converted to whatever.
Random Effect and Shixel were routing a 100% plus category that added the maps and compasses into 100%. So they were looking at that earlier this year.
Yeah, I'm great with randomizer knowledge, but not as good with vanilla, so it's glad to be with
and
Xarnax, you of them.
Xarnax finds the bow in level 1. That could be confusing for him, because I see the bow in the basement level 1. I think it's vanilla items. We know from CD's side, because there was a heart in the basement, that it's not. But Xarnax is probably thinking that he wants to go to 4 for the ladder and so forth. But so CD taking the Triforce out of 4 and leaving.
So Xarnax, if he's aware of it, should know that that room doesn't have to be cleared unless that's kind of the only way to go right in level 1. He's just looking for the Aquamenus room, and I think it's a 4 block with limited space in between them.
Nice to have magical sword because they definitely didn't get low HP on these Darknuts. We got a Gliok instead of an Aquamentus in this room.
And he is clear.
Red ring on the is the dungeon heart item in level 1. That's nice to see. And compass in the compass room again. Yeah.
So it looks like Xarnax knows that it's pretty much gonna stick to the rooms that they were in. So I think
that red ring. That red ring does tell him that, despite the bow in the basement, items are shuffled.
So a little bit of the race here now, I think, is if CD doesn't really have the vanilla knowledge, it kind of behooves her to go find level 6 again.
Yeah.
And the sooner she finds level 6 and gets it to 9, the better chance she'll have to kind of take this one away from Xarnax, whereas he's going to have more knowledge of the vanilla setup as we go, and the longer it kind of takes to get to completion, the more likely it is for it to turn in his favor.
Yeah, Xarnax is a very experienced runner, both in Randomizer and Vanilla, but these flags, depending on how much you practice them, they can really throw you for a loop, no matter how much experience you have. So there may be things... I noticed he left some rooms undone in one. Like, I don't think he got the floor item in the wooden boomerang room. So we'll see if that comes into play.
Yeah, what would concern me about leaving the last item in level 1 in this specific circumstance is because the red ring dropped outside of 9, you know that the silvers are only a small percentage chance to actually be in level 9, and I do believe it's... As far as we could tell, it was mostly first quest thus far, but have we seen 7 or 8?
We have not. Unless I missed it.
Or 9 for that matter, just to see the entry point.
Xarnax finding the magical sword, which is completely useless because they started with it. CD gets a 6th heart container, which will guarantee her white sword item if she happens to find that cave. We have a mixed quest overworld because the first quest magical sword grave did not push, and the second quest take any grave did. And we've already seen stuff confirming it's not.
Yeah, it'll be a little interesting to see if they start going back into some dungeons here shortly, or if this is kind of a overworld exploration to make sure the white sword item isn't something particularly useful.
Yeah. Xarnax has stopped. He actually DM'd me to ask if starting with the magical sword was some sort of bug. I don't think he realized that was one of the items you could start with these flags.
What a guy. I guess if nothing else, that kind of fueled the speculation from chat that it was Xarnax. Maybe didn't even notice that he had the magical sword when he was wandering around some dungeons earlier.
Yeah.
Or he thought it was a bug and decided, I shouldn't use this, it's like cheating. But it's not cheating, you get it for free.
She got it too. Everyone's on a level playing field. But that does bring up a point. You know, Xarnax is very skilled and experienced, but he might not have practiced the flags as much as CD has. So he might have not. It might not have occurred to him that those gold dungeons are the Triforces he needs.
Yeah, I would definitely say Cdinprov has the race experience for like recent experience for racing these flags, because I think she's been in a lot of the pickup races that we've had in the mid-afternoon to evening hour.
Yeah, Xarnax has jumped into a couple of them, but CD's been doing it almost every day, and so she is still relatively new to Z1R, but she's come a long way and learned a lot. So, and she is technically in the lead now. So, although Xarnax has the bow, which if Ganon is required, might be a thing.
Yeah, he's got a bow and he's got a little bit of defense in his corner, so it's he's definitely more equipped at this point, but it could mean absolutely nothing if you walk up 2 or 3 rooms and Zelda's suddenly right there. So now it's really just a question of where in the world are some of these dungeons at? Are we going to have?
We got one under the second quest letter push block up in Death Mountain.
It definitely gave me a 3 palette color from what I saw on my screen.
Yeah, I agree.
And the entry point, from what I've seen thus far, has not been shuffled, so that would also be a lot more likely to be 3.
Yeah.
We do see some wood arrows purchased on Cdinprov, so if there are any going blocks and she happens into one, digs around a little bit, as well as the bait. So now 7's potential block if the meat shuffle was not a thing. I mean, now she's got a couple of different pieces of the puzzle that Xarnax does not quite have yet. So.
No. Yeah, those early purchases, you won't necessarily need them, but they're good to have, especially since there's a good chance silvers are a 9. We know because we've seen on Xarnax's side there's less of a chance because of the red ring being outside 9, but she doesn't know that, and having wood arrows in your back pocket when you do find the bow is always nice.
Do see, I believe it's back in level 6 now for Cdinprov, and
yeah,
she's raced enough to where I think she kind of recognizes that she's got the vanilla starting screen, so even if she hasn't caught on to the pallets, looks like she knows she has to be in this dungeon looking for the Triforce room at this point.
Good luck, we're all counting on you replacing the aim for the Eye of Goma hint in the same room, although the other rooms are different.
Yeah, it's definitely a book seed, given that that's what's basically being spammed on the overworld and underworld and all the old men and shops.
Yeah. Yeah, the book can do quite a few things now in the randomizer, and they're all 50-50 with these flags. It can be the boomstick, meaning it replaces the wand fire with an explosion, which, if that's on, it will also swap the magical shield into a dungeon and the book into a shop. It can be the atlas, meaning you get the map as soon as you walk into a dungeon, and it can translate old men, which explains why when the old men are all saying the same thing, that's usually what that means, is you need the book to understand them. Which, in these flags, in some flag sets, that turns out to be really important because of helpful hints, but the hints are randomized in these. They can be helpful, they can be nonsense, or they can be actually deceptive, so book probably not a huge priority.
It looks like this side of the staircase is a no-go unless we bomb down in that room. I don't think we're far enough over to bomb down, so I think it's bomb left or go back through the staircase. And if she didn't know it was 6, she's probably looking around at her tracker to confirm where she's at exactly. And if she does, she'll bomb left first.
Yeah, she tracks pretty fastidiously and has, so she's probably brought up the level 6 map in Z Helper by now.
Unfortunately, both left and right are Chevy rooms, and north is a key door, so does not look like you can do a whole lot on this side of the staircase. Maybe there's some progress to be made yet on the other side.
Question chat, Magic Sword at 6 stars, they started with it. Yeah. Ooh. Looks like we're gonna need, probably want a ladder to get any further in this level 6.
Yeah, unless she could somehow find a key to get through the single key door that's left.
Yeah, and that key door was on the other side of a moat room surrounded by traps, so even if she gets there, she's gonna pay for it a little bit, so it would be a lot easier to get there with the ladder.
Yeah, that side, the key door was in the wrong spot. On the other side of the staircase, there is one on the north side
that's right.
of that room. But certainly is that level probably puts her in I need to find ladder mode for a little while, or a key shop. That will be a small advantage for Xarnax once he gets around.
She just found a key for 60. Let's see if she can farm up 6 more rupees. That might be it.
Yeah, on Xarnax42 side, he's got 3 keys to her 0, so that is kind of the one thing that would give him a little bit more progress if he gets back into that dungeon.
And that's one of the nice things about digging 6 early. Ooh! CD finds the ladder in the white sword as the white sword item, so she can go back to 6 and get through those ladder blocks if she wants to. Looks like she's going to look further before she does.
I think that's, I think maybe looking for some money just to get a key, and there is money right here. We'll see if that turns her around, or if she's looking for somewhere else to go.
Oh, she found level 9, too. It is, northeast of, Vanilla level 1, and...
Second quest.
Yeah, looks like second quest, because of the column she starts in. Which means 7 and 8 will also be second quest if they have to go in there, which you immediately hope you don't, because they're big and complicated dungeons in second quest.
Yeah, she's looking around now. I'm not sure if she's gonna go back into 6, or if she's thinking about what else she can kind of search for and perhaps get some items out of. And Xarnax, meanwhile, I think is at level 8, given that start room in the bottom right corner.
CD heading back to 6.
It's worth noting that she still has no keys, so if this key door has something important, like say the Triforce room behind it, it may cause her a little bit of trouble if she does not find one within the dungeon.
But she can get through these Chevy rooms now, so she might be able to find keys somewhere else in here. There's the compass, lighting up the one Triforce piece she needs.
I dare say that'll turn her around, given that she knows where level 9 is, and I assume she's got it that this is 6, so it's... Yeah, she's got it on her personal tracker as 6, so she knows that she needs to probably go ahead and take this and go figure out whether or not 9 has a required again fight ahead.
Yeah.
But this race is potentially nowhere near over, given that Silvers may not be in level 9, given that they weren't forced there this time. So if Ganon is required, Xarnax, I think, is going to have some extra time.
Silvers may not be in 9, and CD doesn't have the bow Xarnax does, so Xarnax does have some time to catch up, but he will need to turn around and check out 4 and 6 eventually. And I'm not sure it registered that those were the dungeons he saw and left.
Looks like swordless bubbles is what we had, because he got hit by a 1 and then got hit by a blue and immediately started swinging his sword. We have a key door here, so is this going to have a key in this room, or is she going to have to buy one?
Yeah. I think we did see one other key in here, or that was ladder blocked the first time she came in. But it was all the way on the other side of the staircase. So...
I was going to say she can go down in that room, because it did have the open door, but maybe she's just going to go to the nearest shop and buy a key, because that will certainly get her into the Triforce.
Yeah, that shop on the corner, where does have some of the, does have a key for 60. She tracked that. Not sure if she did.
I think there's another key shop in this general area of Lost Hills. I could be wrong, though. Well, there's a slightly more expensive key, but I don't think it matters much to her at this point which price point she's looking at. The rough part about Second Quest Level 8 is you have a lot of staircases to navigate through for the 2 staircase items you're looking for, and Xarnax is also having to dodge some of these red bubbles and eventually to get you. Thankfully, a blue bubble was just a couple rooms down, so at least he has that room sourced if he needs to come back to it at any point to get his red bubble curse removed.
CD back in level 6, she has a key now, and she knows the way to the Triforce. She knows the key door she needs to open, and she knows where level 9 is. If Xarnax running out of time to realize which dungeons he needs to be in. He's putting a lot of time into this level 8. Yeah, I don't remember how many staircases there are in Second Quest 8, but it's quite a lot. Like, you ever watch someone play 8 blindfolded? I don't know if Xarnax realizes he started with Triforces at all, because he's digging, because he dug that out, but maybe he's just using it to leave with full health. Alright, now he has to see that he only needs 2 Triforce pieces, so...
Yep, it's going to be a long pause again, and I think he'll probably start deducing where he needs to go, and...
CD, meanwhile, getting her level 6 Triforce piece, and she's making a beeline for level 9.
Definitely not over yet, but Xarnax42 is probably going to have to step on it just a little bit here, given that the 8 dig did not profit with silver arrows or something of note that he could use. Now, unfortunately, we do not have Cdimprov's audio, so we will be going in just as blind as the community on this one in the chat. Although I would heavily bet on seeing Ganon and Zelda in their own rooms, so perhaps traveling northbound at most times would be the best way to tackle this, but we'll see what she does.
Yeah, I find usually in Second Quest Level 9, what I'd like to do is go right or left, do a cheek and then an ear and then an ear and then a cheek. But with these flags, because it's 50-50 that Zelda's going to be in her own room and therefore only accessible from the south, might make more sense to go up first, which is what she did.
While it's not quite as important in Second Quest 9 as First Quest 9, I think that it's a small concern that she only has 6 bombs and no keys in her inventory at this point. So she may have to clear some rooms if she wants to get any further.
Yeah. And I don't think she has a sword based on her combat style right now. So she's probably looking for a blue bubble.
Given its proximity to start, I believe the start was in kind of the southern part of one of the desert tiles. If she had to up A and save, it would only take her about 20 to 30 seconds to kind of scroll her way or just walk back to where this level 9 is today.
Well, there's a key. It's in a Gibdo, which is a little tough to get with a blue candle. She could just bum rush it and body it. Which is probably what I do. And just take the damage and possible death. It is possible to steal that damage list, but it's difficult. And Xarnax appears to have frozen. I'm not sure what the deal with that is.
It looks like he lost his connection, so we'll get him back once he's back.
Yeah, I got the not like this. Twitch, why? Yeah, he disconnected from the IRC too, so he's probably having some just internet issues on his end.
All right, got our sword back. Now what is the play? It's really the question.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I would full clear this 9 before looking for items elsewhere, because second quest 9 isn't that big, and there's a good chance we're gonna run into an unrequired Zelda, and if Ganon is required, then you at least get the information about what else is here and where things are.
In her shoes, I would clear 9 for both items. In
Yeah,
Xarnax42 shoes, given his red ring knowledge, it would depend on how fast I had Ganon and Zelda shutter door lock knowledge, I would think.
yeah. Oh, she hit the hit the wrong fly. If you there's one satellite around the Patra where if you kill it, it locks it into its current pattern. So it'll lock it closed if it's in a small circle, but if it's expanding, it'll just keep expanding like this.
Yeah, I think my first strategy in this setup would be to go left and go down to where that Gibdo was holding a precious key. I think I would value that over even kind of clearing some rooms at this point to find
That's
some
exactly
keys, and
where
I
she's
think that's
going.
what she's gonna. Yeah, she's gonna do that. This also could be a staircase room.
And indeed it could.
A standing item does not
Yeah, that room
exclude it.
shape that room shape is in second quest level 6 there is a room like that with a standing drop that has the ladder in it. So you it can definitely still be a push block.
And we've also seen a lot of push block staircases thus far. I mean, I tend to think that if a majority of the staircases I see early are push blocks, it's probably the flag being turned on for most open stairs being removed.
Yeah, there's a flag that it's called remove most open stairs because you can't the randomizer can't remove all open stairs because if there's a shutter in the room with a diamond or a corridor, then changing it to a push block would confuse things because the push block would open the shutter and so forth. But but most of the others will be replaced with closed staircases where you have to kill the room to push them.
I'm a little concerned that she is not clearing some of the rooms that have the shutter door on the north side. I think that would probably
Yeah, I mean
give you a chance.
she has no red ring, no blue ring. She's on 3 hearts. I think she's probably just prioritizing what she thinks she can handle.
She did get a key drop in this BMOS room, so puts her up to 2 keys. Should be able to navigate a lot of the key doors that are specifically in the way.
And she gets a timely clock.
Yeah, you're certainly going to clear this room now. Clock makes it fairly straightforward. So that shutter door opens. So that's definitely that's not going to be the roadblock yet.
Oh, she got the compass.
All right. She was very close to that room. We just don't know if it was a key door or a shutter door, and even still don't know if it opened or would open if combat in the room was taken care of. The good news, bad news of that room is she
Oh,
got red bubble, but she's got only one more room to make it through.
question in chat, where's Xarnax? We're having technical difficulties on his side. Uh, he- I think he's having internet problems.
Yeah, that's the scary part about this. Because he's disconnected from the IRC and from the live stream, we don't know if he's going to come back in immediately. Done. And we'll see
Yeah.
what we got with the local recording and see how he caught up, or if he comes back and doesn't say anything, then he hasn't finished yet. So it's, anyways, we have a doorway that's free from a patch. What we got?
Well, the door's not opening. Let's clear the room and see. That's a required Ganon. Since that shutter did not open. Now, she doesn't know that Xarnax found the red ring in level 1, so she's going to keep looking for items. Maybe the silvers are here anyway, but we know that silvers and red ring are not forced to. Yeah, if the shutter doesn't open, I don't think there could be a shutter that doesn't open into Zelda and also a bomb hole that does.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now the $1 million question is, where are the silver arrows? She's still gonna try and bomb in. Unfortunately, I'm almost certain that there's no way, given the Triforce room setup and the items staying in their vanilla locations, that Zelda will be outside of her room.
She's probably looking at her map and trying to decide how much she has to do and how long she wants to stay here, because she knows now that she's going to need to find the bow. We have not seen the coast item. Oh, she found Ganon. So Ganon is up in the northeast here. And she's opting to leave. Now it's a question of how long she takes to find level 1. Fortunately, if I remember right, she's going in the wrong direction, but she'll get there eventually.
Gotta visit level 1, and I'm not sure where we're gonna find the silvers yet. Nobody is.
She already got the heart container out of the basement in here. Does she want to full clear a first quest level 5 for a floor drop is the question.
Now the behind the scenes is we have a race room, and he's dropped from the race room, so we don't know exactly when he'll be back live, or when he'll be able to finish if he is
Yeah,
attempting to
the
make so now.
the races run through the speedruns live IRC server. That's what we mean when we say he disconnected from the IRC as well as from Twitch. Right. Cdinprov is level 2.
Yep. Could have silvers, could have boomerangs, could have hearts. Who knows?
Could have whiz ropes. Oop, has a wand on the floor.
Yeah, I don't think you'll leave that on the floor, so not surprised to see her grab it and continue on, because I think there's she saw the heart container in the staircase in 5, if I remember correctly.
Right.
She was saw it.
She's not, so she knows there's a good chance of 2 item drops in here. Darknets and whiz ropes. For a first quest level 9, this is quite an enemy set.
Yeah, we know she definitely just needs to find the
First level
Dodonga
2.
room.
Yeah.
But she does not. I don't think she's quite dialed in to this point on the boss rooms. Having
Right.
every heart container drop.
And she doesn't run the vanilla game, so she might not even recognize those rooms, even if she knows about the flag.
Yep. But she's found the room, regardless. I believe it's this one or like the next desert tile set, right? It's next one, the dark, the normal room color one.
Oh, we have Xarnax back. Wait, this is... We saw this footage before, I thought. Oh.
I don't believe so. I believe
no.
he's caught up. I think he probably then has already been to 9 and determined that he may be looking for some silver.
Yeah, he's reconnected to the IRC. I mean, I'm not gonna ask him to like write down an update, so we'll just have to figure out as we go.
He has the flute. He has the wand. So
he's
been to, and I don't know where the flute's.
Yeah.
So probably the more important question to try and figure out the answer to is, has he found the White Sword Cave? Because that would block him from that Triforce in 6. And I don't know that we saw a picture of his Triforce map, so we don't know if he's been into that.
Yeah.
If I see the ladder on his screen, I can make a reasonable guess that he's been in there. He also looks to have a rather large shield on him at this point.
Yeah, I don't know if we can read too much into that, because Xarnax is one of the few players who will actually buy the magical shield sometimes, so...
If he did, he's certainly got a ton of money.
Yeah. But it's also possible he found it somewhere. No, it's not, because we've seen... Well, no, we haven't seen the book, so it's possibly found it somewhere. Catastrophe question chat. We don't know for sure that he's missing that Triforce because he was disconnected for so long. We'll have to see when we see his menu next.
Flute was in 2, so that was where he got the flute.
Okay, so we know that CD checking out what the recorder does, which is always good with these flags because it can do a lot of things, and it's not whistling at all. Probably means whistled unbeaten, and she has all of the Triforce pieces, so it goes nowhere. And if it's whistled unbeaten, it probably took Xarnax right back to 6, so he's good chance he has the level 6 Triforce in his. Possibly been in 9 for a bit, because there was quite a big chunk of the race we didn't get to see on his side. So he finds the raft in 3.
No ladder. I did not see the Triforce setup though. I was too busy trying to look at that part.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I should know, the Chevy room is actually in a very unfortunate spot in level 6 where it absolutely blocks it.
CD grabbing a potion. Nice to have when you know how many red bubbles are in that 9. Giving up on that clip. This second quest, level 7 screen, it's designed so you have to burn it from one side and enter it from the other. You can get around that if you can pull off a clip from one side or the other, but she's having trouble with it from that side, and she comes around to the other to make sure she gets it checked. Neither second quest level 7 nor first quest level 8 are burning. Yeah, that's a great point in chat. Bow in 1 and Raft in 3, but yet items were shuffled. So I don't think either of them found things in an order where that could confuse them. But you could easily imagine routing the seed in a way you would get completely thrown off for a long time. I couldn't hear it, but I imagine CD blew a recorder on that screen because that's a second quest recorder spot. Magical boomerang on the coast. She's grabbing it. She knows Fury's in the booth. Xarnax grabbing that bomb upgrade out of what? Is this 7 or 5? I'm not sure.
It would be 5.
I didn't. Yeah, okay. Lost track of where he went in. Oh, yeah, and 7 would be second quest, so it wouldn't be that color.
That's a rather trolly hint guy right there, sitting at the choke point of level 5, so it's a staircase or bust situation.
Nice reverse clip to grab that key. At some point, where was that? Oh, that's right. It was southeast of level 1. Was the burn bush with the ladder in it, I believe. So at some point, he's going to have to make his way there.
So this could certainly be an interesting level 8 dig for Cdinprov. I know that Xarnax had previously been in level 8 for a while.
Yeah, I don't think Xarnax got much out of level 8.
I know he took the Triforce. Well, he's come to level 8 now too, so...
Yeah, he started with the Triforce. He grabbed the Triforce just and popped out, but it looks like he's digging these items too.
So we have Cdinprov and Xarnax42 in the same dungeon, which would bode well for Xarnax42's chances of
CD
keeping level if it's Silver's in here.
But CD deciding she doesn't want to deal with level 8 if she doesn't have to.
Alright, squash the Dig Dogger and get a heart container, so there's your floor drop in the boss room.
Yeah. From a Dig Dogger instead of Dodongas. But same spot. Heart container in the basement in 8. Xarnax not even bothering to pick it up. It's like he's got quite a few heart containers. And they started with the magical sword, so other than, you know, an a hit or two of defense, which is not even that much because he has red ring. Not much this time. But the white sword is the other item in 8, and since both items in 8 obsoleted by starting with the magical sword. So he's done in there.
Looks like CD is back in level 4 for the moment. We're going to have to see where Xarnax42 goes off to next. You almost hope he doesn't find the ladder immediately and instead finds the silver arrows first, because the ladder will allow him to kind of go into level 9. Assuming silvers are not there, I would say that would be the most beneficial to him. If you believe the silvers are there and or they end up being there, then certainly finding the white sword item is the best thing that could happen to him. Right, another good clock for Cdinprov and an any key, which is quite important given her key situation. I don't think Xarnax42 would turn that down if he saw it either.
Yeah. She's gonna go ahead and dig the floor item since the keys are no longer a trade-off. She can keep going in here.
Xarnax42, meanwhile, did buy the wood arrows. Since he has the bow, that makes a ton of sense to me. By the bait, or is this a bait block in his opinion, or what is this? I don't know if that was planned or if that was him thinking maybe it was a bait block, but unfortunately it is not. It is just a old man hint. Looks like Cdinprov has found the boss room in level 4, so assuming she can...
And it's the heart.
It's a heart container, so... Starting to run out of options.
Yeah, CD needs to find one. Would it be something if the silvers were the floor item that Xarnax left behind in 1?
If that's the case, I almost want to... I don't want to call it a good game, but I want to call a long process for Xarnax42 to find his silver.
Yeah.
Double on 5.
He is digging floor items, so he knows heart shuffle's on by now. So even if it didn't register that he was getting the whatever the other. The red ring out of the Aquamentus heart room, it may register that there's another floor item in 1.
So where is Xarnax42 going? Almost looks like he's going back to 1.
Yeah.
That would be I would not have expected that decision to be as quick, but maybe he is hopeful that it's in just the few rooms that he hasn't checked.
Yeah.
And even with the time creeping up on the hour mark, I do understand him clearing some of the really simple combat rooms to try and get some more keys generated.
Mm-hmm. this this darknet room is. I think this is the magical, the wooden boomerang room. So it should be the drop.
Yep. If I remember the rooms correctly, I would agree.
Oh, it's just a key. There may be more than one room that looks like that. I'm not sure.
They can also still shuffle around in their dungeons a little bit. I think it only really looks to set the specific dungeon drops to their own dungeons.
Yeah. That's true.
Although I could also very well be mistaken on that.
Yeah, there's so many crazy little nuances to these flags.
We stay in net zero on his keys, and this is another one of the similar rooms, so we'll see what the Wizrobes have to offer.
The wooden boomerang in the wooden boomerang room. So the wooden boomerang and the bow, but the red ring. What a one.
So you're telling me Fred kinda sorta tried to troll us with that one setup.
Valletta pointing out that Xarnax probably found all his dungeons because he's not even bothering to burn Candle Row, and he is walking right past the ladder. He doesn't know it, but we do.
Yeah. I mean, if he had burned the right bush there, or burned all of them, I think it would drastically change what he does next, for sure. I think you go straight back to 6, then to level 9, and dig both the 9.
Yeah.
Instead, it looks like...
Still haven't seen his menu, so I don't... Well, he's on the overworld, so I don't know if he... For all we know, he already got the Triverse out of 6, but we're not sure about that, because of how long he was disconnected.
I can say with certainty that it is ladder blocked, so he could not have achieved it without the ladder.
Oh, okay, yeah. And Valletta saying he's missing 6 is still... She has a sharp eye, so I trust her.
Alright, so now Cdinprov is in level 1. If she finds the bow, she's got the same sort of predicament that Xarnax has with the ladder.
If she finds the bow, does she go back to 9 and dig items? Maybe if she finds the bow and the red ring, that might be...
If I find the bow... If she finds the red ring first, I think I would bet on her to clear all of level 1's items. If she finds the bow first, she may just go sprinting back to level 9, assuming that that flag is still on.
Oh, they have permanent sword beam. Somehow I'm only just now noticing that. And it gets her a red ring.
Now that I've turret, I see she does have the red ring, so that may influence her. Well, she's certainly, after getting this boomerang, still going to look for the staircase since it's only one more item.
Especially since she has the any key, she won't be stopped by key doors, so. Sure, she will leave no stone unturned in here.
Alright, so will Xarnax42 walk into a silver arrow, staircase, or floor drop? It's really the big question. After that, we're getting really close to the point where silvers are almost guaranteed to be a 9. I think we'll be down to a pretty high chance. Red candle is our item in level 7 staircase. So that, I think, eliminates level 7 from the picture.
Yeah.
And there goes the up and A from Cdimprov, and now we get to see where she decides to go.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Xarnax, I wonder if it's going to dawn on him that he needs to be looking for the white sword item at some point, because I don't think he's getting much further without it. Oh, he's checking whistle spots, so. Yeah, so Valletta saying in chat it's 2 out of 5 chance silvers are 9. They could also be in 6. So CD back in 9. Xarnax gets his ladder. I imagine he will beeline to level 6 now.
I would assume he is probably pretty frustrated with himself for not considering looking around the overworld a little bit on his way to each dungeon location. I mean, you certainly don't go out of your way to dig every overworld spot as you're walking to dungeons and such, but I would think that that would be a frustrating bit.
Yeah, Catastrophe saying in chat he must feel behind. He is behind, so only piece CD's missing is the silver arrows, and she might find them in one of these basements.
He's also in the dungeon that could potentially house it. Just depends on if he's going to bum rush 9, and if he does, then he does have a little bit of an item knowledge deficit. But since he doesn't know that Ganon is absolutely required, that is also probably going to influence.
Yeah. If Xarnax finds the silvers in the course of clearing level 6, he could turn this around yet.
And I would say he has a bit of an advantage going through level 9. There's a book in 9, so that takes the boomstick off the table. But
Confirms that Xarnax
put the
didn't
hints on the
buy the
table.
manager's shield.
I would 100% pick that book up because it does allow you hints.
It makes the wand harder to work with, though. She may just want the she may just prefer not to have the deal with the fire, even if I mean, the thing about hints in these flags is they might not be worth anything, so. But it's not an obvious call.
No, it's certainly not. It's kind of again, it's a runner's decision, kind of how much they prioritize it. Maybe in first quest 9, where you have more potential information available to you, you might consider it more.
Okay, both runners in level 9 now. So, the silvers are here. It's a race to find them, although CD has quite a bit more information. She knows where Ganon and Zelda are.
What's our potion situation look like? Because that could also play a factor.
CD grabbed one. I don't know if she's used it. She still has a full red potion. Xarnax sees the Zord of Zelda and confirms Ganon's required. And he's going to... do what?
Here's he is going to gamble that since his opponent hasn't finished, they might be somewhere else.
Interesting. I imagine both the runners feel behind right now. Because CD has none of the information about what's happened, but she knows Xarnax is very good. And we're coming up on an hour 11. And Xarnax knows how long it took him to get that ladder, so he has to be thinking that the situation is what it is. So Xarnax in 4. This is going to get him the any key. Not what he's looking for, but...
Alright, so I think CD has, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms left on her map that I see that could potentially be the staircase item, and then obviously the 5th one being Zelda's actual. So it feels to me like it's the least likely to be in 3, so it may come down to whether or not Xarnax goes back to 6 rather quickly, or if the silvers are actually... And unsurprisingly, any key in the staircase is appealing, even if it's not the item you're looking for, so you pick it up.
There's one more room she hasn't been in. There are also a lot of potential staircases that she passed up on her first trip through here, so she could be here a while.
Yeah, she also has that one room kind of up by Ganx. I think she went into his room, but did not.
Right.
Did not go below his room. I don't know if there was a bomb wall on either side of it.
Yeah,
Or
she
if it was
tried.
shuttered.
She tried to bomb down into it when she was up there a little while ago, and it didn't.
No, we're gonna find out pretty quickly here whether or not it is in level 9 or if it's in level 3 or 6. So I think this has to be the last staircase, and we are not gonna stay in 9 anymore because this is no good.
Did she see the other stair? The other staircase was the book, right? She saw that.
So will she go to level 6?
It's gotta be 6, but she doesn't know. She hasn't checked a whole bunch of other places the way Xarnax has, so that might not be her first choice.
Does not look like it is based on the direction we're currently heading, but you never know. And Xarnax is also not going to level 6, he's going straight back into 9 and just kind of hoping, I guess. And Cdinprov is back in level 5, where we have double hearts confirmed.
Yeah, so both of them are going to be frustrated by their current dig. So this dig will probably give Xarnax some of the information about level 9 that CD has, not just that the items are a bust, but the location again in Zelda. So they could be neck and neck by the time they make it back to 6. We'll see.
Yep, depending on what CD knows about Vanilla, I think it's probably going to be important for her to make it in there a few minutes ahead of Xarnax to be able to keep pace if he's looking for a specific route.
Yeah, I don't know if he's... like I said, I don't know if he's practiced the flags enough to even realize that's a thing. But I think if he knew that flag was in play, I'm sure he would know what to look for. But I don't know if he does. So we'll see what happens.
I think this is the Dig Dogger room that Cdinprov is in, so she should be able to bomb the Dodongos and find her way to, I believe it's the second heart container here. Oh, she got hit by the turret, though. That's really a frustrating way to lose your potential bomb drop. Looks like Xarnax42 has got his Ganon roar at this point, so he's just missing the book, which I don't think is too far away from where he's currently at. Even with Red Ring, it's pretty close to death for Xarnax42. That
Yeah, he
kind of set him back, so he's got to be careful here.
has the beeping turned off. I like to leave it on just so the game gives me a warning when I'm this close to death. A lot of people don't. Getting those tinks off those fireballs, putting that magical shield into use. Xarnax always telling everyone the magical shield is underrated. Got the compass.
It's a bit late for that compass to be as useful to him as it was to Cdinprov.
That's right, he already saw the shutter.
I believe Petra did guard a pack of bombs and the book, so be able to get both. He's just gonna leave the. Guess he's gonna leave them there. Left the bombs and the book, surprisingly. And looks like he's heading back to 6, which has the best chance of being. Oh, nope, no. I, of course, have spoken too soon again. He's going somewhere else.
Unless he's just taking a very circuitous route. Which, at this point in the race, you could be a little panicked and just take a wrong turn, trying to figure out where you're going.
Yep, looks like a long road to level 6, or to where?
It's possible he hasn't seen the coast item, because he just got the ladder.
Alright, there goes CD out of level 5. I believe she just saw the heart container. So will she go to level 6, or where will she go?
I mean, she has some little dungeons she hasn't dug out yet. She might go to 3 first. If she's seen it. I don't remember if she's been up there. Yeah, Xarnax was checking the coast. Because he hadn't seen that magical boomerang.
And she walks into level 7. Looks like she's turning around, going in, turning around. Indecision here as to whether or not she really wants it.
It's always a tough choice because 6 is smaller, but 7 is new territory, so.
Alright, here is the game. It looks like Xarnax is back in level 6. CD, I don't know if she's seen level 3. That would be the only other place they could be.
Yeah, and if she hasn't seen level 3, she might take a while to find it because it's all the way up in the far northwest. There they are.
Second quest room that migrated to level 6 was the answer for silver arrows, so that puts Xarnax in go mode and likely well into the lead going back into level.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Xarnax. It's to lose unless something very strange happens, because it makes perfect sense to try and find 3 before you go back to 6, but unfortunately it's the wrong play.
Xarnax42 does have the quick route back to Ganon's location, so shouldn't be too difficult for him to get there with his magical sword intact.
Here's Ganon. And he's 0 HP.
At this point, it doesn't really matter if you have your sword or not. Just trying to get those 2 rooms out of the way and get your GGs out for Xarnax42 with an official SRL time of 1:25:08. I'll wait to see if our winner of this race pops into the booth. I'll go ahead and give you the roundup as far as what we have coming up in the Z1R section of the schedule. Have a Seafill vs. Fryteeth match. That's game 2 at 9 o'clock. Have an Eat My Steel vs. Russian Bishop game 1 at 10 o'clock. On SpeedGaming 5, we will have Saver vs. Chester doubleheader. Looks like we have Lack Attack and Duke Firebird as well at 10:30. Catastrophe and Riker Rider at 11. Truant vs. Random Effect Game 3 at 11 p.m. on SpeedGaming Prime.
Truant Random Effect was going to be a good race. Their first 2 races were pretty exciting, so a lot to look forward to tonight.
We also have plenty of other action on SpeedGaming's family of networks, so depending on what you're looking for, there's always a lot of different options to choose from.
Oh, here he is. Hey, Xarnax. GG. Popped out. I don't know if there he is. GG Xarnax.
Hey, thanks for that. Just a heads up, my phone likes to drop me, and every time it does, I'll need to be dragged back in, I think.
All right. So since we lost connection with you, I think we can kind of piece together. I assume you dug 2 while you were disconnected.
I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was doing at the time. I know that was the point when I knew that I needed the ladder. So yeah, I probably went back to 2 looking for the ladder.
Yeah. CD just found the raft in level 3. It's
Man. Replaying the seed, it could be a pretty quick one, but my order of searching was about as bad as it possibly could be.
Yeah, to kind of give you the way this went, we did lose you for a little bit there, Xarnax42, but we believe CD had a handful of minutes advantage going into level 9 the first time. Oh, she definitely did because she didn't have the ladder, but she had the ladder and all the Triforces and went in there and saw that Ganon was required. So it sent her basically on the way back out and gave you a lot of time to catch back up.
Gotcha.
Once you got the white sword, or the white sword item, which was the ladder, she had just about solved the first item in level 9. I think she found the was it a heart container was the second item she found. I think it was your first.
Okay,
From
yeah,
there,
yeah,
it's
the
just
heart.
from there
Heart
it was
on the
just
right,
her
but
last
this was on
order.
the left.
And from there, she's just basically last ordered where silvers could be, which is in level 6. I think she has every other item covered almost, with the exception of Second Quest 7.
Yeah, that was a. I was lucky that I was able to pull out the win and still learn a very valuable lesson. I don't know if I forget or if I like it's for some reason, like when second quest rooms are on, like if I'm in, there's something that makes me just kind of space it out. Even when I see a push block, like if it's not a first quest shape room, it doesn't even occur to me. Like it doesn't click that there's a pushable block in there, or there might be. And that cost me a ton of time looking for those silvers. I could have gotten those on my first pass through 6, I think.
Yeah, you sent me a DM early on. You didn't realize the magical sword could be one of the things you started with. How much? I wonder how much of the flags you didn't get a chance to practice.
Wait, did I actually start with that?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
You picked up the wood sword when you already had the magical sword.
My goodness, that's amazing. I spent a long time without even swinging it. It didn't. I don't know how I didn't visually get that clue. I remember I was pretty sure that you could start with it, but it didn't occur to me that I did. And I do remember thinking, wow, I started with what, bombs? Was that the only thing I started with other than that?
Yeah, it was 8 bombs and magical sword and plus the 6 Triforce pieces.
Right. Yeah, I remember thinking that it was a really unlucky roll because we only got one item. And wow. Okay. So in my mind, I had not hadn't gotten the magical. Or hey, Gigi.
Hey, CD. GG.
Hi guys, GG. Sorry, Grim was talking to me for like 10 seconds ago.
Oh, sorry. I pulled you out of the setup room with that.
Well, I was a little confused. I'm going, well, this is my first race on SpeedGaming, and I have no idea what's going on now.
Well, you're here with us now, Gigi. You were yeah,
arguably... my chat just told me. I asked him.
Yeah, you were ahead for most of that.
I kept going. I should go back and dig 6. I haven't gotten anything out of 6, but no, 6 is giant. It's full of wizbrobes. I don't want to go in there.
Yeah, I mean it's a defensible choice. It just happened to be the wrong one, and because Xarnax, by the time he went back to 6, had dug I think everything else. So.
Yeah, I found it really funny that it was whistle to unbeaten, but by the time I'd gotten the recorder, it didn't work.
Right.
It's like, really? Okay. And then I got into 9. Did you get into 9 before you found everything? Or at least, a bunch of other stuff? Because I was like, I'm pretty sure the first 3 things I like, actual things I found were, was it 4, 6, and 9? Like, right in a row.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, Xarnax, I wanted to ask, You found 4 and 6 pretty early and left them. Did it register that the dungeon palettes were unshuffled? Because I don't know if you recognized it at first or not.
No, I was still looking for a sword.
Oh, that makes sense.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it took me like 3 screens to realize I had mags. I was like, oh, okay.
So Xarnax didn't realize he had
it
until after he picked up the wood sword. And then he DM'd me to ask if there was some sort of bug that had given him magical sword.
Very nice.
Whew, yeah, that one was... I missed the... I full cleared 6 and missed the silvers somehow, because it didn't occur to me that was a block push room. I hadn't... kind of forgot about the second quest rooms flag being separate from second quest dungeons, and then I full cleared every dungeon, got all the items from every dungeon before I started, because I had found all of the dungeons, so clearing more overworld didn't make sense yet to me. Maybe in hindsight, I don't know. Maybe it should have at least been clearing some more as I was walking around. So yeah, I had cleared everything that wasn't ladder block I got before I got the ladder. And then got everything out of 9 before I went back to 6 to get the silvers.
Yeah, that was like the 4th thing I found. I was like, oh, look, a ladder. Okay, we're good. It was, I have to say, that was, if I'd have gone back to Dig 6, that would have been like every single thing we needed pretty much in like the center of the map all together. It would have been fantastic.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, if Ganon wasn't required, CD definitely wins. She was in 9 a long time before Xarnax was.
I was going, all right, am I wasting my time trying to get anywhere in this level? Or, you know, is this going to end up being worth it? And then I found her door. I was like, it doesn't open. And then I went around to each side that I could get to just to make sure that I couldn't get in.
Oh, man. Yeah, if a door doesn't open after you clear a room, you don't need to check any other entrances. That's a dead giveaway.
Oh, I know, but it was wishful thinking. And then I was up in 3, and I heard something pop into my inventory, and I looked at my thing, and I'm like, I can't honestly tell if those are different arrows or not. I don't think I got them, and that's about the time that you got done. And I was like, oh, I'm so close, because I actually, for once, left SRL open. I was sitting there, and I saw you, like, connect, disconnect, and I'm going, is he okay?
Yeah, there was a whole section of the race where we didn't have Xarnax's feed at all.
No.
That was frustrating. I had to pause a few times just to try to get my internet back up. It was down for probably 10 minutes, and I don't know what happened. Thankfully, it came back.
Well,
it's been really.
Yeah, at least it came back in time for the end of the race, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, good first race.
So, CD, have you chosen a loser's remorse flag to change?
I wasn't really gonna change anything. I'm one of those weird people, so I kind of like the puzzle of trying to figure out what level I'm in, even if it takes me like forever and a day to figure it out. Like 5, I was in there like first thing, and I'm going, I can see 3 rooms. That's about it. I don't know where I am. It's not centered in the middle of the map, so this can't be 1. I don't know where we are, or at least I think it was 5. And then, but I'm weird. I think it's a lot of fun to try to figure out, you know, all the different flags and the combinations and things that are happening. But so definitely GG to Xarnax, and I look forward to doing it again.
Yeah, it was a very fun race to watch.
The last random percent tournament was my favorite. I was so excited when they announced this one for the same reason. I love trying to figure out what flags are on as I'm playing through. And then there's always a couple that I just completely overlook, even while I'm playing it. It took me several dungeons to realize in this one that like the entrances weren't shuffled. So after a couple of them, I realized I could walk in one room and know exactly which dungeon I'm in.
And the Triforces were all in Triforce rooms.
Yeah.
Which is pretty nice, too. I figured out that I think it took until, like, 2 to be 100% certain that I knew where I was. I was like, hey, this is that really pretty blue color that I like. That's level 2, because I actually put it on my cheat sheet in those colors, the words of what the dungeon colors are normally.
Oh, man. Dungeon palettes weren't shuffled, were they?
No, they weren't. That's how I knew I was like, I'm like, oh no, this is gray. I don't want to be an 8. I don't want 8. No.
I think John mentioned that like 10 minutes ago, and it still hadn't clicked.
Yeah, the dungeon palettes were different. At least we had regular bomb droppers.
I don't know if you two also had it click. The boomerang was actually in its vanilla drop room. All the heart containers were in the boss vanilla rooms on every single.
Yeah.
Except
I had that map open. Well, the big collection of all the little maps. Because it's one of the things. So I have to say, yay for Captain Green and Deerwolf and Fury and all the guys, because every single time I come up with a question, they have an answer. So I have a folder full of links of maps and diagrams and how to clip and screen scroll and all this other stuff, and I'm just going, okay, this is pretty cool. But I had one of those up that actually shows the location of stuff, but I didn't realize. I guess I didn't pick up on that one.
Yeah, the rooms kind of migrate from where they're vanilla put, but they all stayed within their dungeon confinement. So if you found the room that had the boss and you killed the boss, that was your floor drop on a lot.
Well, for example, the red ring was in the Aquamentus room where Aquamentus drops the heart, and it dropped in the heart spot, except instead of Aquamentus, it was Gleeok. But
I have to tell you, there was quite a bit of laughing when I found that. I was like, yay! This isn't what I'm looking for, but I'll take it.
Red ring was really, really nice.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Xarnax was in one pretty early, so.
That is another flag I always miss, Fury. So yeah, if Triforces are all in their own rooms, then that's the same flag. So there will be a heart or an item drop in. So it's basically you need to know the shapes of the rooms that the bosses are in vanilla.
Right.
So like the desert room in 3, which usually has a manhandler. The corridor in 1 and 7 that usually has an Aquamentus. Exactly. So wherever that gets shuffled to in the map, that's going to be your item drop if room drops aren't shuffled.
Yeah, or the heart. If heart shuffles off, then that'll be the heart. But,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gives me a bit of a struggle too, because I was sitting here. I had asked Taven, since he's got me beat on vanilla knowledge and has watched a lot of vanilla stuff, as to where like compass locations were originally, just to kind of determine whether or not that was going to be a thing.
Oh man, yeah. There's so many things that come into play that you never think about.
Hey Fury, I picked up your boomerang.
Yeah, but much to the majority of the chat's disdain, you picked up the blue boomerang on the coat.
But you got the Ohio in chat you were going for.
But it's blue. That's my favorite color. So if I'm going to pick up a boomerang for Fury and a friend of mine, Langer, it's going to be the blue one if I have a choice.
And Xarnax bought the magical shield while he was disconnected, and he came back and commented, "Oh, he has a big shield," and people were like, "Well, is this a boomstick seed? Did he get that out of a basement?" I was, Xarnax actually does buy the magical shield, and is a strong advocate.
Most underrated item in the game.
Oh, we're getting started already.
I've never actually used it. The only time I've really seen people use it, other than this morning when Rick had one, I think it was Rick, would be when the guys are doing Oko. It's because occasionally you'll see like Thirwolf or Captain Green, and the guys, if it's Oko, they will occasionally pick it up.
Yeah, it's really good for that. It's kind of a waste if you've got the red ring, which I did, but I had a ton of money and I ran across one. I was like, might as well pick it up.
I was just hoping for book. I'm like, all right, I've been in this shop and this shop and this shop. No book yet. Darn it. I want a boomstick. Because I have to say that is one of my all-time favorite flags, right behind permanent sword beams. Because, I mean, how nice is it that you can be down on hearts, stand in a doorway, and still cheese a Gleeok if you have to.
I do love that flag.
Well, we'd certainly have some ideas for the Loser's Remorse. You can pretty much choose one and give Xarnax enough heads up to where he knows what's going on. But
no, I think I'm going to keep it heads up as it is, because, I mean, again, every single race, with the exception of, I swear I've only seen like 3 of them where the power bracelet isn't under an Armos statue somewhere. I think everything itself just comes up so much differently that, it's always a surprise.
All right, well, we certainly look forward to Game 2 between you two, and we'll see when you guys get that scheduled and see if we can get that one cast as well.
Awesome, sounds good. I just wanted to real quick say thank you very much to Fury, Johnson, and I think is the tracker Gary? No, who's the tracker?
It is Belletta.
And Belletta, I'm sorry, yay, Belletta! And thank you very much to Belletta for staffing the race today. It's been a lot of fun to get to know this side's volunteers, so it was great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, same thing. Thanks everybody for helping. I know today's a crazy busy day, so I appreciate anyone putting in any time.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys, gals. John, I don't really have much else, so I can take it out, or you can. Up to you.
Yeah, go for it. You're the attorney admin.
All right, sounds good. All right, thanks everybody for watching. For on behalf of Speed Gaming and everybody that is involved with this restream, I'm FurySK, and that was John Tapin, and we'll probably see you later tonight in one of the other great matches.
Good night or good afternoon.